SpaceX Crew-11 launch delay mission overview. NASA's next ISS journey. Imagine being just a minute away from embarking on a journey to the International Space Station, only to have your dreams put on hold due to unpredictable weather conditions. This is exactly what happened to the Crew-11 mission, led by NASA astronaut Zena Cardman, which was scrubbed due to cumulus clouds. But here's where it gets interesting. The team is now targeting a new launch date, and we're about to dive into the details. The Crew-11 mission, which includes a cosmonaut and 3 astronauts, was initially set to launch on July 31st. However, the weather had other plans. Cumulus clouds, which were not expected to be a major issue, popped up at the last minute, causing the mission to be scrubbed. The team is now targeting a new launch date of August 1st, weather permitting. So what's the plan for the new launch date? The SpaceX Crew Dragon Endeavour spacecraft will take off from Launch Complex 39A at NASA's Kennedy Space Center, carrying the 4 crew members to the International Space Station. The mission will be the 6th flight for the Crew Dragon Endeavour, which has undergone thorough reviews and upgrades to ensure its safety and reliability. But that's not all. The Crew-11 mission is also notable for its unique crew members. Each of the 4 astronauts and cosmonauts was originally assigned to a different mission before being reassigned to Crew-11. Cardman, the mission commander, was initially set to fly on the Crew-9 mission, but was reassigned due to issues with the Boeing CST-100 Starliner spacecraft. Her pilot, Mike Finker, is a seasoned astronaut who has flown on 3 different spacecraft, including the Space Shuttle orbiter Endeavour. The crew will spend at least 6 months and potentially up to 8 months on board the ISS conducting dozens of science experiments. They will also be testing out new equipment and technologies, including an upgraded intravehicular activity (IVA) flight suit, which features improved mobility. As we wait for the new launch date, it's worth noting that the weather forecast for the backup launch attempts looks worse than Thursday. A front pushing into the southeast US by the weekend is likely to bring increased moisture to the local area, with a slightly higher threat for a cumulus cloud rules violation on Saturday. More notably, this same front will bring a significantly higher threat for showers and storms, as well as higher winds along the ascent corridor on Friday and especially Saturday. The Crew-11 mission is a significant one, not just for the crew members, but also for the future of space exploration. As we continue to push the boundaries of what's possible in space, we're reminded of the importance of teamwork, perseverance, and adaptability. So let's take a moment to appreciate the hard work and dedication of the Crew-11 team and wish them all the best for their upcoming mission. And this is the part most people miss. The Crew-11 mission is not just about the crew members, but also about the technology and equipment that makes it possible. The SpaceX Falcon 9 first stage booster, which will be used for the launch, has a rich history. Having previously flown on the Starlink 1210 mission and the Axiom Mission 4. The booster experienced a liquid oxygen leak during the landing on the drone ship, a shortfall of gravitas, during the Starlink 1210 mission, but has since been repaired and is ready for flight. The Crew Dragon Endeavour spacecraft, which will carry the crew to the ISS, has also undergone significant upgrades and modifications. The spacecraft's heat shield and parachute deployment system have been improved, and the crew will be testing out new equipment and technologies during the mission. As we look to the future of space exploration, it's clear that the Crew-11 mission is just the beginning. With its unique crew members, cutting-edge technology, and ambitious goals, this mission is sure to inspire a new generation of space enthusiasts and explorers. So, let's stay tuned for the latest updates on the Crew-11 mission and get ready to blast off into the unknown. But here's the question. What do you think is the most significant challenge facing the Crew-11 mission? Is it the unpredictable weather, the complexity of the technology, or something else entirely? Let us know in the comments below. And finally, as we wait for the new launch date, Let's take a moment to appreciate the incredible work of the Crew-11 team. From the astronauts and cosmonauts to the engineers and technicians, every single person involved in this mission has played a critical role in making it possible. So let's give it up for the Crew-11 team and wish them all the best for their upcoming mission. NASA astronauts launched to ISS, overcoming Starliner setbacks. Nothing stirs up the world of space travel like a crew of astronauts finally blasting off after being benched for over a year. And not for a lack of readiness, but because Boeing's Starliner program stumbled at the worst possible moment. It's a comeback story, a test of patience, and a bold leap for international cooperation all rolled into one. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The solution to Boeing's problems came courtesy of their rival, SpaceX. Friday morning at NASA's Kennedy Space Center, a multinational team of 4 astronauts, a collaboration between the United States, Japan and Russia, took ultimate advantage of SpaceX's reliability, rocketing toward the International Space Station, ISS. Their mission? To take the place of another crew pressed into emergency service after 2 NASA astronauts were stranded in space because of Starliner's setbacks. Think about that. A domino effect in the cosmos caused by a single company's technical troubles. This newly launched crew is traveling on the proven SpaceX Dragon capsule, which is expected to dock with the ISS over the weekend for a residency that could last half a year or more. Among them is Zena Cardman, a scientist and polar explorer, whose original flight was postponed in favor of Starliner's unlucky test pilots. Nothing but sheer happiness. I'm overwhelmed. This is the kind of experience you dream of, Cardman, who is the mission's commander, declared once they reached orbit. Her enthusiasm is contagious, but her long wait provides important context. Astronauts train for years and want nothing more than to leave Earth behind. But the reality of space logistics can keep even the best on the ground. The Starliner mishap forced fellow astronauts Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams to catch a ride back from the ISS aboard a SpaceX capsule, almost 10 months into what was supposed to be a week-long mission. Here's the part most people miss. Every delay ripples across the entire spaceflight schedule, affecting not just equipment and launches, but lives and careers. Mike Finke of NASA, Cardman's co-pilot, was originally tapped as backup for that problematic Starliner mission, and, along with Japan's Kimiya Yui, had prepared for a subsequent Starliner voyage. But when Boeing's issues grounded the spacecraft for at least 2 more years, NASA shifted Finke and Yui onto SpaceX's latest mission instead. As Finke put it, it's fantastic to be back in orbit again. A telling remark, considering his last trip was on one of the final space shuttle flights in 2011. Completing the team is Russia's Oleg Platonov, a former fighter pilot who had to sit out earlier Soyuz flights due to a confidential medical concern now resolved. Adding another layer to this crew's story of perseverance and second chances. Thursday's initial launch, by the way, was cancelled at the last minute due to heavy clouds, despite NASA's acting administrator, Sean Duffy, having met with Russian Space Agency chief Dmitry Bakhanov. The presence of both US and Russian leadership is a subtle but important signal. Despite terrestrial tensions, cooperation in orbit remains strong. Duffy remarked, "What we learn here is the key to making it to the moon and eventually Mars." The lunar surface is prime real estate. NASA is determined to secure it for us and our partners. A controversial point, perhaps, in the era of growing international competition in space. Should the moon really be claimed, or should it be shared? In response to fiscal constraints, NASA is weighing extending astronauts' ISS stays from 6 to 8 months. A move that mirrors Russia's current practice. SpaceX is on the cusp of getting full certification for longer duration missions, suggesting this crew could stay until April. To stretch funds even further, NASA might reduce future crews from 4 to just 3 astronauts aboard Dragon capsules. Is NASA compromising mission safety by prioritizing cost savings, or is this a necessary evolution? As for Starliner, NASA is contemplating launching cargo rather than people next, while engineers continue to troubleshoot lingering thruster problems and helium leaks. Time is running short. As the ISS itself inches toward its planned retirement around 2030, leaks, particularly a stubborn one on the Russian side, remain unresolved despite repeated repair attempts. Engineering teams from both nations already collaborate on end-of-life planning, including safely crashing the massive structure into the Pacific. NASA's Ken Bowersox emphasized the need for ongoing US-Russian partnership for the final deorbit. It will take years to lower the ISS's altitude enough for a SpaceX vehicle to provide the final push into Earth's atmosphere, and plenty of additional fuel shipments before 2028. According to the current schedule, SpaceX would fly NASA's deorbit vehicle to the station in 2029. With astronauts remaining on board until the final months to oversee shutdown and maintenance. The uncrewed station itself will then tumble into the Pacific sometime in late 2030 or early 2031. And here's something worth arguing about. Who really owns the future of space exploration? With private companies like SpaceX saving the day when traditional contractors falter, does this shift represent healthy innovation or too much privatization of what once was a global public endeavor? So what do you think? Should NASA keep relying on commercial partners like SpaceX, or should it share your opinions in the comments? After all, space exploration is no longer just about astronauts and engineers. It's a conversation for all of us.